doesn't get more breaking news than this. The news broke 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. I just read the news release as well, and I'm joined by Brandon Macdonald, Fireweed Metals.
Yeah.
I keep saying zinc. It's just
So much more than zinc.
so much more than zinc. $27 million financing you just
Yeah.
announced.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Massive milestone. Tell us about it.
It was a long time in progress, right? So we had been, I've known many members of the Lundin family for a while, particularly Adam and Jack, and there was discussions over the years, and it kind of started heated up mid-year, and ended up in a site visit in September, and I there was some news I wanted out, even though they were quite interested, which is what we got out recently. And yeah, so I was in Geneva today to get it over the line. So for those of you who might have been at Mines and Money today and were thinking you might see me around, this is what I was doing. Was a quick day trip to Geneva, I guess, as you do, right?
As you do when in Europe.
Yeah.
Just a quick signature, or was there more involved? I'm just curious about the whole process.
Like it was definitely not a formality, right? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like I was going there for a handshake and it was a done deal. A lot of due diligence had been done on that point, but I think it was still necessary to sit down face to face with a lot of the rest of the family, and pitch them, right? And understanding that a standard pitch wasn't going to do. This is a very very sophisticated group of people, right? So. As I even joked at the time, it felt a bit like Dragon's Den because it was a room with 10 people, members of the family, and people senior within their organizations, and a couple people on the call as well, and up to me to talk them through everything, and lots of good questions, and what, credit to them, even though like this is obviously an intense experience for me, but not their doing. Right, like just really great people, and so at the end, kind of leave the room, and they discussed and came back, and it was a done deal, right? So cranked out the finishing touches on the news release on the airplane over in the back of a plane between Geneva and Heathrow, and happy to get it out.
Yeah. What were the terms?
So 74-cent hard dollar, and then a little bit of flow through at 88, and then the charity flow through at $1.20. So nice big, that the charity flow through delta pretty big now for critical mineral projects. So pretty happy with that. Ultimately the nice thing is that everyone in the order book now is either part of the company, part of their family, or someone who's very important, right? So I'm going to rephrase that because every shareholder is important, and I don't want to dismiss people in retail who have been a huge part of the company's ongoing success, right? But I would say like the biggest shareholders, right? So the people who you can lock out and soft market to in advance of it, because you can't go phoning the list of every shareholder to soft market a financing, because that is breaking securities laws, right? So I think, and I was talking about this on CEO.ca, that it's not just who you're placing, it's the quality of who you're placing, and are you increasing your float or not? And
I was going to ask about dilution.
yeah,
Right?
it is material. Like I think 30 plus million shares in this, it's a big jump, right? It's undoubtedly a very big jump in our share count, and not at our highest ever price for a financing, right? Absolutely expect a degree of criticism for that, but the price is at what the price is at, and the quality of investor was there. And when we think about like, okay, this now gives us the ability to run so much further as we make more progress, right? Because there should be no questions about our ability to finance, about the quality of the backing, about the doors that we can open, and about the due diligence that's been done on the project, right? Just that super high level due diligence, or low level, high level, low level. So
Detailed due diligence.
Detailed due diligence. Yeah, it's late, but So yeah, I fully recognize that. I think when you ultimately look over the total lifespan of the company, whenever the final moment of Fireweed is, I think it's going to be a triumphant finish. You look at this financing and you wouldn't think like, oh, that was a huge punitive dilution. I think what you're actually going to think is that ultimately set us up for less total dilution before the end, right? In Adam Lundin's words, he said this is the fuel for the rocket ship, right? So we're ready to go, and I think the whole team, and credit to my team, because they were on site, they pretty intense questions for our team and stuff like that, and really the quality of the people there is a huge part of the reason that they were able to get behind us.
Yeah, I can imagine. What's the use of proceeds? So what are you going to do? $27 million?
Yeah, well, our biggest ever drill program next year. So you think this year was big, 2022 is big, 2023 is going to be even bigger. So a lot of work to do on that front, and really setting ourselves up for success in the future. Work on Mac Tongue as well, which was something that myself and them view as a very material asset, right? That maybe the market is sleeping on, right? So there's I don't have like a dollar by dollar breakdown. I mean, that's obviously going to be, come and go with it, as budgets change and evolve. But it's really what we wanted to do was look at what could Fireweed do if we were basically capital unconstrained. Yeah. And what we can do with this capital is pretty close to an unconstrained program. I mean, like, you could maybe start adding a bit more on this, but you start to get that diseconomies of scale, where the marginal dollar actually starts making less difference rather than more. It's going to be a really awesome year.
Okay, financing $27 million just announced. Is that the limit, or is there like a green shoe part of it? Because I'm not sure if tech will participate, stay pro rata. Is there that green shoe option sort of in there?
We're entertaining upsizing if the investor quality is there, and by quality, it's not just size. It's have they been with us for a while? Have they been supportive? This is something that people need to know. Are they useful? Yeah. Right? Like if they've not been with us, but we know they're a quality investor that can somehow be useful to us, then we can find a way to wedge them in for a bit more. Now, there's a limit to how much more beyond 27 million I want to go, because that's already a pretty eye-watering total, right? So, but open-minded, right? But the book is going to close like very, very quick, possibly tomorrow. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm really curious what you tell me tomorrow when we might bump into each other at breakfast. What your phone is going to do overnight. I hope you plug it in and charge it. So. Yeah,
well, and I have a lot of meetings over the next couple of days, all of which were scheduled before I knew for sure that I was going to get this over the line. So a different, tone of the meeting, perhaps, right? I think this hopefully gives me a little spring in my step during the conference. Try to be, important to be feeling buoyant but not smug, because there's been $27 million of faith put in me and the team. So now this is when you're a junior mining CEO, it switches from capital raising stress to a brief moment of elation to then execution stress.
Now I got to deliver. Now I got to deliver.
Now I have to deliver. Exactly, right? So it's I am by no means, feeling cocky about this, or any more cocky than I always am, right? Which is like my base level is kind of a 6 out of 10.
Well, you're going to be unbearable tomorrow.
There will be a few struts, like a little bit of peacocking. So
well deserved. Yeah. But you have a little time. You have a bit of grace period to actually plan the next steps before the stress really kicks in. Yeah. Because now you get to enjoy a bit of the fruits of 2022. We've seen the one big drill hole coming out. Next catalysts now that the big news, the financing is out. You expect more drills results very soon?
Yeah, 30 out of 32 holes remaining. Right? And look, it's a totally fair question to say, why don't we wait till all the holes were out? Because you could interpret this as either, there's two incorrect interpretations. One, the rest of the holes stink. That's why we did the financing now. It's not true. Or that this was some sort of like, I know they're great, it's some sort of dirty deal or something like that. And it's not that either. It's that, we got a highly material hole out. We ran mostly on the lead up to it because people paid attention to the November 10th news release. We got some good uplift. It was critical for the market to know the quality of intersections we'd had before we did this. But really now, I think the market was waiting for us to finance. I think it's part of the reason why we didn't run on the last drill results. Now the people who are waiting, thinking that we were going to come to them for fast money, are disappointed. Hopefully they're coming into our market again, right? And hopefully now we have the runway to really go on the remaining 30 holes. And then it's, studies next year, right? So we might take, we got a lot to think about whether this gives us some rethinking how we approach the studies, but certainly resource updates coming imminently, and then economic studies coming not too long after that.
Fantastic. Brandon, thanks so much for joining me here.
Yeah,
Pillow Talk. I don't do this with everybody.
Yeah, welcome to Pillow Talk with Kai Hoffman.
Seriously, we should turn this into a new SF Live episode, like sort of a.
Is this more or less weird than when I shaved my beard?
I know we always do. I don't know. Slightly. I don't know. I feel comfortable.
This is the quality content we deliver.
Absolutely, live here from London. That's why we improvised. Brandon reached out whether I was available, and I was. So might as well make the best of it. And instead of sitting downstairs in a noisy lobby, we chose the Pillow Talk conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching SF Live. Breaking news with Brandon Macdonald. They just raised $27 million from the Lundin family. And congratulations again. I think we forgot to toast, actually.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I got us beverages. So
which I need.
Yeah, desperately.
Cheers.
So I hope you get some sleep tonight. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back with lots more content.